vacation. And they always compliment me. And the people so free and so friendly. So friendly. In a land of natural beauty. What a class of country. Let's run into land. And just have courage to change the things we can. Progressing now and then. Call it the land of above. It's the opinion of the expert. But Nevis nice. Nevis nice. Nevis nice. Nevis nice. That's what beauty the air so clean. The vision of me hear you scream. Forward. Nice, Nevis. It's about war that we're hearing all over. Continual fighting in the Middle East. Bloodshed daily down in Africa. And from the different countries living in peace. They never stop misbehaving. Now and then that's all. Or a wife and she husband, small back and all. But if you look around the country, we still have peace and stability. Thank God we still can see our land of beauty. Sing with me. Thank God we still can see our land of beauty. So may my country follow me in peace, love and harmony. The good Lord bless our shores with no enemies to us. The greatest place on earth. May our leaders show loyalty, our people want unity. The substance must come first. There must be no political hurt in my country, the beautiful country. My name is nice, Mississippi, land of my birth. In spite of the little crime, it's still nice in comparison to them countries. Inhumane act against each other and social injustice with disregards confronted daily by suicide bombers or some fanatics who are extremely mad. A secular indifference can be so.
Julie Keynes, candidate for Nevis 1 St. Paul's Parish. Dr. Patricia Bartlett, candidate for Nevis 2 St. John's Parish. Rohan Isles, candidate for Nevis 3 St. George's Parish. Dr. Daniel-Hodge, candidate for Nevis 4 St. James's Parish. Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons, parliamentary representative for Nevis 5 St. Thomas's Parish.
We are the Progress Party. Yes, the people them party. We are the Progress Party. NRP. Oh, yeah. Me see the truck roll out. Yes, the truck roll out. Me see the truck roll out. And everyone a celebrate, so me will and me tongue. Chuck and me tongue, jump up in the air and hold up me hand. Step on your shoes, me tell you excuse, cause NRP celebration. Yes, we moving up. Yes, we moving up. We moving up. NRP them they go. We are the people them party. I know the Progress Party. When the flag them know. Cause we moving up. NRP. Progress we say. Remember
your love is patient. You fill my heart with so much peace and joy. You're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. You're amazing. You make my life feel brand new. Jesus, you love me too much, too much, acceptable. Jesus, you love me too much, acceptable. Jesus, you love me too much, acceptable. Too much, except love.
So let me have my way now. No one ever gonna leave, cause I'm so invested in you. Cause I really feel a vibe every time you set the right down. And nobody like this, man, it's nothing like this, and it's nothing like you. Nothing and nobody like you. And every single time you touch you, I never wanna stop because I always wanna let you know that I love you so much, it's nobody like you. Nothing and nobody like you. So make me borrow. Long time is over you. Long time is over you. Make me borrow. Long time is over you. Long time is over you.
DJ States.
Long time is over you. Long time is over you. Because special to me. Special to me. There is special. There is special. I need a party mood. And I be heaven mood. Nobody on your mind. And I know wasting time. It's coming from the best. But what is wrong with the plan? Sweat heavy on the road. But I got something now. I wanna say, it's time to cool it down. Talk me anywhere. Need somebody when we come. I wanna say, it's time to cool it down. It's been so far away. Before I go, insane. Come when we done with you. Insane. Insane. Come when we done with the water. Insane. Come in and out of our we ain't no stop at all. You ain't gonna override. And I am raising time. Don't do just me pass. The power makes me dance. Sweat heavy on me road. And I can't stop them now. I wanna say, it's time to cool it down. So be anywhere. Need somebody when we down. I wanna say, it's time to cool it down. She's been so far away. When we done with the water. Insane. Sleep on when we done with the
Okay,
water.
guys, I'm just letting you know that we will begin at 8:30. That is in 8 minutes. We will begin at 8:30. That is in 8 minutes. Thank you.
I love the way you're dancing. You make me feel like dancing too. Come let me wind our waist. Move your body with grace. Come let me dance our lives away.
she hold a little tighter, but she's still whispering this tune, yeah. One Taramera, Wahila, one Taramera, one Taramera, Wahila, one Taramera, one Taramera, Wahila, one Taramera, one Taramera, Wahila, one Taramera. Fire, fire! La-da-dee, la-da-da.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to begin. We are ready to begin, ladies and gentlemen. We want to begin this evening's launch with a prayer. So I am kindly asking Mrs. Cavell Jeffers to come forward and lead us in a word of prayer. Cavell Jeffers, can you come forward and lead us in a word of prayer, please? Is Cavell Jeffers here? Around on this side. Yes, she's coming.
Good evening, everyone. Let us please stand for prayer. Let us bow our heads. Heavenly Father, in the name of Jesus, we approach your throne. We thank you for the invitation that we can come. And Lord, we lift this occasion to you, and we pray for those who are endeavoring to run for a seat to make the island of Nevis a little better. We are asking that you would be with them. We are thankful for the hope and the courage that you have put in their hearts, and we are thankful for the wisdom that you give them. Help them, Lord, that they would remember that they can call upon you when they need you for help. And all of the island of Nevis, as we look to them for assistance and guidance, we are asking that you would be with us, keep us faithful. Help us, Lord, that we will walk with thee uncowed, by fear or favor of the crowd. We thank you for the ambition that you have put in their hearts, not just to serve themselves, but to lift Nevis to a better and a higher level. Bless everything that shall be said and done, and as we leave them in your hands, we beg your protection and your guidance, and we beg you to grant them wisdom that they can always turn to you for strength and help. We leave all the proceedings and the rest of the evening in your hands. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Jeffers. Remain standing as we have the national anthem. Mr. DJ. Louder, Mr. DJ. Louder, Mr. DJ. Louder than that, Mr. DJ. I need some energy over here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? No, I can't hear you. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Listen, for those of you who are physically here, you would realize that we only brought a few chairs. That was deliberate. You would also realize that we put the chairs to the side. That was deliberate. Because you are not at a wedding. You are not at a church program, although we will keep it clean. You are at the official launch of the NRP's federal campaign. It's a party. It's a celebration. Come forward, my people. Come forward. I am not in any sit-down business with you all tonight, you know. I am not in any sit-down, feel-cold business tonight. Put the jackets aside. Put the phones down unless you're sharing the live. We're here to party tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, just allow me a few minutes to acknowledge all in our midst. I know that there are persons overseas who wished that they could have been here. I know that because just this week when our ad went out, a lady overseas called me on the phone crying in tears. Lord, we're late. I want to come home. We're late. I want to come home. Because she wished that she could be here. She felt the energy in that ad. And trust me, you are going to feel the energy tonight. NRP people! Listen. The DJ played a song at the start. It said, "We ready." it's going to be nothing but energy. Nothing but energy. We want to take a minute to just recognize Freedom FM, 106.5 Freedom FM, who's carrying this evening's launch live. Thank you so much to the good folks at Freedom FM. Equally, we want to recognize the good folks at VON Radio, 860 AM, 93.7 FM. They too are carrying this event live. And so NRP people, you know we got to put on a show. You know we got to put on a show because we say performance matters. And I come here to perform. So I need you guys to be performing tonight. All right. I tell you, you know, this ain't no play thing, you know. This is serious business. How did we get here? You see, just about a year ago, 4 of our 5 candidates presented themselves, myself included. We presented ourselves to you as candidates in the Nevis Island Assembly elections. The Nevis Island Assembly elections are due by March of next year. But we know that the bell will be rung shortly. And so we were ready then. We were ready then when we came to you last year. As a matter of fact, I came to you right from this very stage, in these very grounds, telling you that I was ready. Then we went up to Brown Hill, and Dr. Patricia Bartlett told you that she was ready. Not long after, we went to Hard Times in Gingerland, and Rohan Isles showed you that he was ready. And then we had to wait for a little while, but we came back and we showed you once again that we were ready because Dr. Daniel-Hodge over in Newcastle demonstrated that she was ready. And it is no secret that the esteemed Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons is ever ready. And so you see, we were ready then, and we are ready now. How did we get here, ladies and gentlemen? Let's be honest. We were getting ready for the local elections. And we still are getting ready because nobody will catch us with our pants down. We're still getting ready. But we were getting ready for the local elections. But as usual, we have some people who say that they have Nevis interests at heart. We have some people who say that they care about Nevis and they are putting divisions first. But they couldn't deliver for the people of Nevis. And what happened? They went about and they create one load of cataflang. One load of cataflang. And so, the same people who they asked us to trust them with because they will deliver for us. They failed us. Everybody followed. Husband and wife break up. Husband and husband break up. Wife and wife break up. Everything mash up. But guess what's not breaking up? The Nevis Reformation Party. And you know they're watching. You know they're watching. Because for a party that people claim has no energy, a party that people claim is dead, how come everything they do is about the NRP? Well, tonight is not about them. Tonight is not about them. Tonight is about serious business. Tonight is about charting the way forward for the island of Nevis. And we are telling you that we are more than capable of doing it at the local level. But we want to ensure that at the federal level, our interests are taken care of. And that is why we have brought you tonight the creme de la creme. We ain't bring you anybody in a corner who we had to beg. No, we bring you people who are about service, people who are competent, people who know what they are doing. We are bringing you 3 dynamic candidates tonight. Tell her you may come here to play, you know. We ain't playing tonight. We're going to have fun, but we're going to address the issues. We will have fun, but we will address the issues. Ladies and gentlemen, we aren't going to do a whole lot of featured speakers from all over. You came here to hear your candidates, and your candidates are who point in time as I invite to the podium Kaylin Stapleton from the NRP's youth arm, as she will be introducing our candidate for Nevis 9. A round of applause for Ms. Stapleton as she comes forward. Welcome her. Let her feel that NRP energy, ladies and gentlemen.
Greetings. My name is Kaylin Stapleton, a constituent of Nevis 9. Delighted to present to you a short profile of Dr. Patricia Bartlett, our next representative. Dr. Patricia Bartlett considers herself lucky to have had George and Maisie Bartlett as her parents and being the sixth of their 8 children. She was born and raised in the fishing village of Brownhill, where her dad was a fisherman. She grew up in a poor family and neighborhood, but with good moral values. She would often say that she didn't have a lot of Sunday school clothes, but she had a lot of Sunday school. She attended the Prospect School, now the Ivor Walters Primary School, from 1966 to 1973. She attended the Charlestown Secondary School from 1973 to 1978. Her tertiary education began at the Regional Education Program for Animal Health Assistance in Guyana, where she graduated in 1981. In 1983, she completed a 9-month agriculture middle management training course in Jamaica. She completed her professional degree and graduated magna cum laude Doctor of Veterinary Medicine from the Tuskegee University School of Veterinary Medicine on May 12, 1992. Dr. Patricia Bartlett holds the distinction of being not only the first Nevian trained as veterinarian, but also the first female veterinarian in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. She was a career civil servant. Her entire professional career was dedicated to the service of the people of Nevis. Having turned down an offer to work in the Bahamas in a more lucrative job, she served as government veterinarian officer in the Nevis Island administration from June 1992 to September 2020. Dr. Patricia Bartlett has always been a community volunteer and leader. She became a Brownie of Junior Girl Guide while in primary school, and this was the start of her volunteer service. Involvement in the St. John's community. Over the years, she has been engaged in activities to support the church, the school, and the wider community. She has served as a president of the Brownhill Youth in Unity, the Brownhill Female Cricket Club, and the Brownhill Community Management Team. She has also served as the chairperson for the first ever Brownhill Festival Committee, the 2013 Culturama Committee, the Department of Agriculture Hurricane Irma Dominica Relief Fundraising Committee. She is a regular panelist and an advocate for gender equality on the Von Radio talk show, Let's Talk. Dr. Pat has always been engaged in playing or supporting sporting activities in the community. She has represented Brownhill in athletics, netball, and female cricket. She also started a weekly roller skating program about 7 years ago. which is still ongoing for the kids in Brown Hill, where she provides us with skates and snacks. She has since taken us to teach children to roller skate in the Rollins and Cherry Garden communities. She is also a current director and corporate secretary of the National Bank Trust Company. She's a believer of Christian faith. She loves her family and gives generously to those less fortunate in the community. She believed in the eradication of poverty. She believed in integrity, fairness, and equality. And she has a vision to improve the lives of all the people who reside in Nevis 9. The children in our community call her Auntie Pat. The adults call her Dr. Pat. Ladies and gentlemen, the profile of Dr. Patricia Bartlett.
A round of applause for young Kaylin Stapleton. Ladies and gentlemen, I will save my comments until after, because I want you to bring on Dr. Patricia Bartlett. I want you to bring on our very own Dr. Patricia Bartlett. Oh, Julie's rolling on the floor. Julie's on the floor, ladies and gentlemen, because we have a lady coming to us from the Bronx. Coming from the Bronx. Ladies and gentlemen, stand up, and let us welcome Dr. Patricia Bartlett.
Lord, this is roll call. Nevis 10, where are you? My people, Nevis 9, where are you? Good night. Good night to all under the sound of my voice. Whether you have joined us by radio or on whatever other social media platforms that you're accessing right now. Thanks, Madam Chair. Thanks to young Miss Kaylin Stapleton for her kind words of introduction. And greetings to all of our NRP people. And I know that Nevis 10 and Nevis 11 would pardon me, because tonight I have to focus for a little while at least on my people of Nevis 9. I have to be able to pay special homage to some of my people, because you see, after spending the last, I can't remember how many months I've been out there, almost a year actually, preparing for the local election. I've been canvassing in St. John's, and now I suddenly hear I have to go and look out for the people in St. Paul's as well. So now I have no choice. I have to widen my circle of service to include all the people
just like those people in St. John's deserve the best, so too, I think that we all deserve better than we're getting right now. We deserve better. So tonight, I extend special greetings to the people of St. Paul's. Of course, I am no stranger to the people of St. Paul's because I went to high school right behind here, so I went to high school in town, and I have family ties right here in the city as well. I still visit my Uncle Tinkin's wife, Auntie Gloria, and family on Prince William Street. Still visit my cousin, Larnett, everybody know Ash, Ash's mother, over there in Ramsbury. And then there's my cousin Denise, the mother of Michael, the young welder, right up there in Stony Grove. But outside of my family, St. Paul's has some super heavyweights. And I've been lucky to know some of them personally, on a personal level, over the past years. People like El Comido Willett and his wife, and his talented cricketing and sporting family. Where is he? The one and only Tulu. Stuart Williams, Carly Tuckett, Janet Bell Hull and her mother Cicely Hull, Pastor Kelly, Salome James, my good friend who gave us the prayer tonight, Cabell Jeffers, sitting over there, Mr. Perkins and Mr. Nisbet, the pharmacist, florist, Marcel Fabs, the master welder, Fish, the original DJ sound and soundman, Roberta Hector, the former parliamentary representative for the area. Boy, I know a lot of good people in St. Paul's. And the list goes on. But you know what? We don't have the time tonight. We just cannot acknowledge everybody. So if I didn't call your name, please, if you didn't hear your name tonight, please, don't hold it against me, please. I just don't have the time. Special greetings, though, also to the people of St. John's, my people. St. John's is where I'm from. St. John's is where I live. And it has been quite a good experience canvassing in places like Bath, the football mecca in Nevis. So big up yourself, Bath, for having produced people who have been contributing positively to the development of your community. Persons like Coach and Pastor Alex Claxton, Jameer Claxton, Alger Newton, Kimball Ward, Mario Parry, FIFA referee, Malcolm Ramsey, who seem to be always on a world tour of duty. And in England, we see people like Garrett Honkins and Javier E.T. Lee, who are proud ambassadors of Bath. Look, you know what? I better stop there, or else time would run out and I wouldn't get a chance to touch on some of the issues. My people, these are unprecedented times. These times are not ordinary times. Who would have thought that when we started 2022, that we would be having a federal election 3 years early, not 2 years, 3 years early. Not one of you out there would have bet you money. You would not have bet your money on it in January, neither in February, not even early March. But here we are, June 2022, with a general election staring us straight in the face. You know, by now, those of us who are capable of critical thinking would have come to the obvious conclusion that because the sheriff didn't get the unofficial and the unappropriated money that he requested to help fund his local election campaign, all hell broke loose in March. And if and you have not arrived at that conclusion yet, I said to you, keep working. But while you're working to figure out why there was no outcry of fair share and keeping the momentum in December 2021, when the legitimate sharing of revenue was unanimously, you hear what I say? Unanimously supported in the federal parliament. The noise getting louder for fair share is to distract you from figuring out what is going on, or rather, sorry, what is not going on in Nevis. Now, the CCM would like for the issue of fair share to be the only issue for this election, and would ask you to send them back to Church Street to deliver fair share for you. But wait, the last time I checked, yes, Sister Patsy, the last time I checked, we were 98% literate, so they shouldn't be able to fool us again. So when they come this time, tell them, look, my mother didn't raise a fool. My mother ain't raised a fool. They had 7 years to deliver for you in St. Paul's. They had 7 years to deliver for you in St. John's. And now, when we try to reconcile the difference between what the representative from Nevis 9 had promised us and what he actually delivered in 15 years, all of us disappointed. I say all of us disappointed. Not just NRP people. CCM people too. You ain't seen the night I go to the meeting. Then we have got CCM meeting. And guess what? Even the people who don't vote, they're disappointed too. The Premier said that he couldn't be bothered to get the Constitution amended so Nevis could secure an equitable share of the CBI or the passport money. He said it ain't easy. So it seems like CCM want the results, but they don't want to do the hard work. Well, we in the NRP are saying that we are ready. We in the NRP are saying that we are capable. And we are saying we have a plan. We have a plan to get it done. So we are just waiting. We are waiting on you to send us to work on behalf of you, to make sure that this matter about this fair share is finally settled. You know what? It's twice now the NRP has worked with federal partners to get an equitable share for divisions. In 1993, we were able to enshrine in the Constitution Section 110, which deals with the revenue allocation of the pooled tax revenues between St. Kitts and Nevis, with a 75% to St. Kitts and a 25% to Nevis split. We felt good, things were running good. What happened? Guess what happened? CCM got voted into government somehow. And in 1992, what did they do? No. By 1995, they break up the arrangement. They break up the arrangement to get a fair share. Yeah. Now, in 2010, with the help of Kartak, NRP again, I say mine, again, with federal partners, passed a bill for the sharing of the VAT. You remember the 17% VAT? Yeah. That we were supposed to pool the revenue. Nevis gets St. Kitts get 76%, Nevis get 24%. All good, things been going good. So what happened now? Guess what happened again? CCM come back in and get, oh boy, these people. They get in 2013, right? And by 2014, again, they mash it up again. So for twice now, they don't mash up fair share. And then they come pretending that they really want fair share for you. You gonna buy that? No, we can't buy that. And consequently, Nevis has lost out Nevis has lost out big time over the years under the CCM regime. But you know what? Let us just focus for a moment on just the last 3 years on Nevis. 3 hard guava crop years. According to the IMF information, Nevis would have lost $81 million in the last 3 years just because we were no longer in the formal, legally established revenue sharing agreement with St. Kitts. Now, think about that. Think about that. That is what people mean when they say elections have consequences. That's what they mean. Eh? Imagine CCM taking bread out your mouth and then can't give you biscuit. Can't give you biscuit. And so now, our people have been struggling for the last 3 years. The poor man feels, yeah. Gas gone up, bus fare gone up, rent gone up, phone bill gone up, light bill gone up, tax gone up. So you hear Peter Dashen, yeah? Everything gone up. Eh? Gas gone up, food gone up, light bill gone up, everything you could think about gone up. And while ordinary people, ordinary divisions continue to suffer, barely holding on, they're going around boasting and showing off the loot. Eh? Look. We had a good start. Yeah? They mess it up. So now what? We have to hold them accountable. We have to hold them accountable. People in St. John's, let me ask all your serious question. Serious question, Judy. What has the CCM representative for Nevis 9 done to make your life better in the past 15 years? Eh? People in St. Paul's, I'm going to ask you the same question. I don't want Julie to answer for you. What has the CCM representative for Nevis 9 done to make your life better in the past 15 years? I'm waiting. I hear you, Flores, nothing. Anybody else have anything different to say? No, nobody have nothing different to say. You can't contradict Flores. Flores know what's going on. Nothing. He said send him to Bastille and he would bring back geothermal. All you could laugh and all you get home, but it's a serious thing. He said he control the switch. When he said 2017? Yeah. What year we in, Patsy? Oh, okay then. He said that when he threw this switch in 2017, right? That our electricity was gonna be cleaner and it was gonna be cheaper.
You hear that? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie? Teacher Pussy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die.
Yeah? No. Now your electricity bill nearly 3 times what it used to be. And not one single unit of geothermal has ever been produced under him in Nevis. Not one single joule, not one single watt. And how else they measure energy? Well, however, it's not even my own energy. Yes? So, nothing related to geothermal, nothing related to wind, nothing related to solar. We're still playing high, sky high, Nevelec bill. Somebody showed me that bill the other day and I had to bust out a doggy. Imagine that. As a matter of fact, last year, when the CCM brought in a diesel Watzilla engine, right? The Premier told you then that it would result in cheaper electricity for you.
You hear lie? That is lie. Lie? You hear lie?
Teacher Percy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die.
You hear lie? That is lie. And as the cost of everything else continue to get higher, the federal government, in its wisdom, I kind of don't so like it, right? But I don't want her to get me the wrong way. But in any event, the federal government say, you know what? These people going through a rough time. The best thing to do is to give everybody a little top up. So they said they're going to give everybody 10%. Now, the people in St. Kitts, the people in St. Kitts got the 10%, but somehow, Antipathy, somehow, between Bastille and Charlestown, 5% of the Nevis government employees and pensioners, their pay raise just disappear, poof, just like a saw. Their money just disappear. So guess what? 5% cream off of the top of Nevis people money by this heartless and caring CCM government, who seem just not to be able to resist the urge to always cream off something. Always got to cream off something. Then the Premier wants you to believe that the increase was coming from the NIA coffers, and he wasn't prepared for it. He said that the issue of the 10% increase didn't come to the federal cabinet for discussion.
You hear lie? That is lie. Lie. You hear lie? Teacher Percy say if you tell a lie, you're going to hell as soon as you die.
But guess what? Guess what? It's his own PAM partners who put out the information that shows that he was not telling Nevis people the truth. And as Nevis continues to sink into recession, it's everybody else's fault. Everybody else's fault except his. First here is Timothy's fault. It's the people on Church Street fault. It's NRP fault. He blame all you do. He blame y'all. He says all your fault. He even blame Ratcha. Poor Ratcha. Man even blaming a dead man says his fault. But as he continues the blame game, your water bill is so high, they start to cut you off. You're not supposed to clean up. As he continues the blame game, your electricity is being cut. You can't even sometimes afford the basket of basic food and personal care items. The poor man feels but there's hope, because you see, this NRP team is offering you a deluxe upgrade from the low-grade representation that just got fired from Bastille. We are a data-driven decision-making team ready to go to Parliament to make laws, not to break laws. Yes. Laws that would guarantee you an equitable share of federal resources by way of a constitutional amendment to Section 110. Laws that ensure fair representation by way of constituency boundaries alignment or realignment. Because as we stand here tonight, Nevis 9 has almost 3 times the number of voters compared to number 10. Nevis 9 has almost twice the number of voters compared to number 11. But by the very nature of the present composition of the Boundaries Commission, which spells nothing but controversy and stalemate, no meaningful progress has been made to pursue equality. And that must change. That must change. Laws must also be made to treat with the conduct of rogue parliamentarians. No lawmaker should ever be allowed to contravene the provisions of the Constitution and the laws of the Federation and still be allowed to serve in Parliament. We must also advance laws to facilitate the establishment and the building out of the medical cannabis industry as we seek to diversify our economy. So going forward, as we come to you with issues, we continue to encourage you to apply wisdom. Apply wisdom, people. Ask for clarification if you must. Ask for simpler examples and explanation when in doubt. Do not listen that man over their mind. Do not let, I said, do not let King Liar confuse you, because he has deliberately set out to confuse Nevis people. Then want to distract you from the issues affecting your quality of life and your livelihoods, because they have no plans ready to execute, and they have no policies, no policy initiatives to deal with issues affecting divisions. Issues like the alarming rise in the poverty rate. Issues like post-COVID economic recovery. Issues like health care and the scandalous Alexandria Hospital project. Issues like job opportunities and skills training to empower our people, especially our youths. Issues like support for small and medium-sized businesses. I'm sorry for Carbo. I wonder if Carbo here. Carbo been crying out now for over 2 years and no relief. We have to look at issues related to the reform of Social Security Fund to ensure its longevity to match its purpose. Mind you, pay close attention. Social Security ain't going so good. Pay close attention. Put pressure on your elected representative to make sure they sort it out now. Okay? We have to also address issues like cleaner and cheaper renewable energy initiatives. And we really, really have to pay some attention to what we call affordable housing for low-income families that are really not affordable. But instead of the issues, instead of the issues, they have taken their comedy show on the road with your 2% to pay for it. But my people, let us stay focused during this election cycle. You are going to hear a lot of noise. You're going to hear a lot of noise from the captain, who is going to find every radio station, whether it's FM or AM, everybody on their cousin Facebook Live. He's going on every TV station he could find, and wherever he could find an audience, he's going to be there propagating his propaganda. Because although half of what he says is not true, and the other half is pure rubbish, he knows that if he delivers it in standard English, in the style in which he was trained, he would be able to fool some people. But I know he can't fool all you. You live here, so you're not only seeing, but you are feeling on a daily basis what his maladministration is doing to this little Nevis of ours that we love so much. So I said to you, listen up. Send him home. Send him home. Let him go home to his cooking show. Do not continue to jeopardize your future and the future of your children. There comes a time when you must walk away. Nevis 9, this is the time. Nevis 9, now is the time to walk away from him. He is not good for Nevis 9. As a matter of fact, he is not good for Nevis, period. So, I am presenting myself to you as a far better choice. St. Paul's, hello, St. Paul's, St. John's, St. John's, mind, choose wisely. It is time to turn this thing around. Thank you. With the right prescription. Ladies and gentlemen, I tell you when we roll out, we roll in heavy, you know. We focusing on the issues. We have a quality candidate in Dr. Patricia Bartlett. When Kaylin Stapleton was here, and she read the profile of Dr. Patricia Bartlett, I said that word, which I don't say anymore, because I was shocked. I was like, what a candidate. I tell you, when it comes to the Nevis Reformation Party, we have class. There is no shortage of talent in the Nevis Reformation Party. And you see, when she started off her presentation, I heard a song, Don't Talk Defeat to Me. Don't talk defeat to me. And when I heard it, I said, wow, Dr. Patricia Bartlett means business. She is putting you on notice early. Don't talk defeat to her. You see, Dr. Bartlett, I heard you say that now you have to stretch a little bit more because you have been doing such a wonderful job in St. John, really focusing your time on canvassing St. John, and now you have to reach out and embrace St. Paul's. And that is good because we are happy for that level of embrace. But listen me carefully. You see, on election day, let me tell you about the people of St. Paul's, because on election day, we are coming up the hill, full throttle, we're coming up the hill. So you don't have to worry about us in St. Paul's. Worry about us when you get in and deliver for us. But on election day, St. Paul's will deliver for you, Dr. Patricia Bartlett. St. Paul's, let me hear you. I know we have some people, you know, who say, man, I don't like the federal thing, and for federal elections, I stay home. We're not staying home. When you stay home, you are giving somebody else the opportunity to choose for you. And then you grumble later. How does that make sense? So we're not staying home. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move along. I have a lot more to say, but let's move along. We are going now to call. Okay, we are going now to call. We're getting ready for number 10, eh? Because we had number 9 and we're going up the hill. We're going up the hill. Come on, where's the energy to go up the hill? We are going to the constituency of Nevis 10, St. George, Gingerland, and we are going to introduce our candidate to you. And so I am asking the representative of the St. George's group to come forward and let us bring on Mr. Rohan Isles. Let's come forward. Let us welcome one of our own to introduce the candidate for Nevis 10. Come on, we need a round of applause for young Cheyenne Tyson. She's coming forward. A round of applause. Thank you, Cheyenne.
Good night, everyone. Our next presenter is a proud and living example of country above self. A man who has given his life to his family, his community, his students, and now to the people of St. George's Parish. Rohan Rohan Isles at a young age has made a major impact on so many of us. His words are inspiring and his deeds, most of them being voluntary, will forever be in our hearts. We know he cares, we know he understands, as this young man has known struggles just like so many of us. Notwithstanding his opportunities in St. Thomas's, he has chosen a different path. He offered himself to the people of Gingerland because he believes that we are all Nevision, no matter which side of the island you live. All Nevisians are deserving of honest, equal, and dedicated representation. And this is why he is here tonight, putting himself forward to represent for the people of St. George. Ladies and gentlemen, let's rally, let's rise, and let's put our hands together for a hard-working, courageous, family and community man. A man for the people, my candidate, your candidate, the future representative of Nevis 10, Mr. Rohan Isles.
Energy, 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 energy. Let's go. Rohan, 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 Rohan.
Lord Jesus, it is you who wakes me up every day. And I'm forever grateful for your love. This is why I pray. You let me touch so many people, and it's all for the good. I influenced so many children. I never thought that I would. And I couldn't take credit for the love they get, because it all comes from you, Lord. I'm just the one that's giving it. And when it seems like the pressure gets to be too much, I take time out and pray. And ask that you be my crutch. Lord, I am not perfect by a long shot. I confess to you daily. But I work hard every day, and I hope that you hear me. In my heart, I mean well. But if you'll help me to grow, then what I have in my heart will begin to show. And when I get going, I'm not looking back for nothing, because I will know where I'm headed. And I'm so tired of the suffering. I stand before you, a weakened version of your reflection, begging for direction, for my soul needs resurrection. I don't deserve what you've given me, but you never took it from me, because I am grateful, and I use it. And I do not worship money. If what you want from me is to bring your children to you, my regret is only having one life to do it, instead of two.
NRP people, good night! Well, not a thing could spoil my night tonight, because I just saw my mother. What a thing. Well, Mommy, welcome to the NRP's Farewell Campaign Lounge. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Let me first thank you for sharing of your time to witness this very important event, the launch of NRP's candidates for the upcoming federal election. So whether you are here in the flesh, or whether you are here in spirit, listening and viewing on one of the many communication platforms we have provided for you, I thank you for your presence. Permit me the signal honor to extend a super special good evening to the wonderful people of Nevis 10 St. George. without whose love and support I would not be here. Thank you for opening up your hearts and your homes to me and my family. And on the subject of family, I recognize my queen, my soulmate, my best friend, and our children, who have been my tower of strength throughout this journey. Let me say that I am delighted, I am excited, and I am humbled to be representing the Nevis Reformation Party in our quest to bring sensible, accountable, and visionary governance to every household, every village, every parish of St. Kitts and Nevis. My name is Rohan Isles. How can I help? My journey has and continues to be your journey. My experiences and vision are but a reflection of your stories, your dreams for something better. Better not just for you and the immediacy of now, but for your children and your grandchildren, whose rights to a higher education and skills training, their rights to comprehensive health care, affordable housing, and good paying jobs are no longer assured. Those rights are no longer assured because those who are entrusted to lead, those who came before us begging to be sent to Bastille to represent us, have chosen instead to follow a course of dependency and mendicancy. We now know the only place, or the one place they are committed to going, is to and through the gates of hell.
But far from all joke, right? You all hear my brother Alexis say that they're going close to the gates of hell. Eh? But Alexis, I want to tell you, right? And my brother Mark and Eric and Spencer, if you ever find yourself close to the gates of hell, don't worry, because I got people with me, and we're going to jump in first, and then we're going to tell you if it's safe to come.
This NRP movement is a God-fearing movement focused on moving our people upward and onward.
Most time we die forever. Fool by your fame and a prayer. Depart from the king and will never. As he keep my strong under pressure. Show me the hearts of the friends and the families. Reveal the plans of the enemies. Show me who we are not far.
We now see the evidence of the maladministration as it unfolds from the pages of leaked documents and from their toxic conversations. What is pellucid is that we, the people of Nevis, were betrayed and fooled. Betrayed and fooled for 7 years because it was more important for them to pocket a double salary at a time when 40% of us could not even get one penny, than it was for them to fight for our rights. But we should not be surprised by their behavior because they told us so even before they were elected. So while nobody expected them to work for free, there was a reasonable expectation of actual work being done.
Everybody must work. And a line up. Work. Everybody must work. Young and old. Work harder.
There was a reasonable expectation that the comprehensive mandate given to them by the electorate in 2020 would have resulted in a better Nevis. Regrettably, it did not. What we got instead was the most toxic and destabilizing government in our nation's history. A government defined by the blatant greed, corruption, and selfishness of narcissistic ministers. What we did not get was legislation that would constitutionally protect and guarantee the right of Nevis to its fair share of CBI receipts.
When they have power and authority, they don't give a damn about nobody.
What we did not get was the funding for geothermal
and the $300 million lump sum payment promised in the 2014 Charlestown Accord. They might have as well invested in a Honda Accord. It probably would still be running now. What we did not get was any sensible accounting of the more than $400 million in budgetary support flowing into the Nevis Treasury. $9 million spent on geothermal, with almost half of that amount spent on legal fees. In this era of integrity in public life, is it not reasonable, therefore, for us to know which law firm benefited? Lord, $6.5 million on the OLP, and passengers are still sheltering under a tent 3 years later. $12 million for a treasury building that was budgeted for $8 million. $19 million for the Alexandra Hospital expansion that 5 years later is on life support, and the money disappeared. These were our monies, flowing from the sale of our patrimony, squandered by an administration that have no clue on how to govern, and worse still, could not kill us. My name is Rohan Isles. How can I help? What I bring to the table is my strength and my unyielding conviction to do right by Nevis and its people. What I bring to the table is purpose-driven life dedicated to the empowerment of all our people. This is where we live. This is where we must all prosper. What I bring to the table is a vision to grow and diversify the economy of Nevis in particular, and St. Kitts and Nevis in general, through strategic investment and partnerships in renewable energy, tourism, agriculture, fisheries, manufacturing, and financial services. What I bring to the table is a strong desire to see every child on Nevis and St. Kitts be afforded free education, so that they too can make their contribution to the development of our nation. You see, no government desires of educating a critical mass of its people so as to better able to tackle the emerging issues of climate change, food and nutrition security, health and wellness, and the growing information technology gap can leave education to chance or for it to be available to only a few. China understood this, and that is why they have opened thousands of universities and trade schools in the past decade. Singapore understood this, and that is why that tiny country is ranked 10th richest in the world. I too understand this, and that is why I promise you that I will fight tooth and nail to make education free for our people. My name is Rohan Isles. How can I help? As I travel the boundaries of St. George, from Pond Hill in the west to Zion in the east, I envisage a new era of agricultural development. At a time when global food supplies have become strained and increasingly expensive, we must address our own food security at the highest level, the federal level. No longer can we remain in our own little silos, each island doing their own thing with no real impact on food production. A roll of fish pot wire will not get us anywhere, neither will a few seedlings or seeds. What is needed, my friends, is true federal response, with clear, well-articulated policies that see Nevis and St. Kitts as a single agricultural space, each island exploiting its unique advantages for the betterment of the whole federation. What we have now is the maintenance of the status quo, a mirage with just enough money to give the appearance that something is happening. It cannot and shall not be business as usual once I am around. We must invest in agriculture that should include cannabis cultivation and processing. You see, if millions of dollars can be set aside to fund the peace program,
then farmers and fishers of St. Kitts and Nevis must also be afforded the opportunity to borrow at lower rates and to receive grants in order to move the sector firmly and sustainably forward. This is unlike the fired former Minister of Agriculture. I will introduce the requisite policies and legislation to strengthen the bilateral advancement of agriculture in our Twin Island Federation. Again, I tell you, my name is Rohan Isles. How can I help? You see, what we didn't get was the human capacity to understand and appreciate the struggles of ordinary people that were faced during the global pandemic that brought not just a health scare, but revealed and increased the economic strife of our people. Our most vulnerable cried and continues to cry out for help, and our government's best response has been for many a mere $100 or $150 per month. And this is to families with very young children and sometimes with teenage children. My son goes through $100 in 2 days. When as a government they were to be focused on assisting the most vulnerable among us, this administration decided to pave roads. When we asked for relief from the water increases, they paved roads. When we asked for relief from electricity, they paved roads. When we asked for relief in the cost of living, they paved roads. Clearly signaling to you, our people, that they prefer to pave roads than to pave a way forward for the most vulnerable among us to survive in these difficult times. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this experiment called Team Unity has become extinct because of the erosion of trust between selfish, self-absorbed, power-hungry ministers. They've all showed us who and what they really are. And now they have come back as if nothing has happened, asking to be sent back to the same place they were just fired from. To be sent back to the same place they said put pepper in our rice and bone in our soup. To be sent back to join a coalition that, according to them, never had done anything to support these. I say to you, no. We must all say, no. No more tricks. No more lies. No more half representation and seeking to be. You see, Nevis is in need of a new change. It is in need of a new direction. It is in need of honest people to represent our best interests. I wish you to grant me your blessings to be a part of that change. St. George, I'm asking you to send me to Basti. I will be the change you need in number 10. Join us on that journey to forge a new direction as we restore our hope, reclaim our peace, restart our progress, and reignite our prosperity. My name is Rohan Isles. I know I can help. God bless you. I love you, and good night.
That's how days are coming, change ways. So this moment, occupy and remain the same. That's how days are coming, change ways. So this moment, occupy and remain the same. That's how days are coming, change ways. So this moment, occupy and remain.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for Rohan Michael Isles. Tell you, when we roll out, we roll in heavy, you know. How does he sound, Nevis 10? Something tells me that Rohan is going to create an upset in Nevis 10. Something tells me that Rohan will create an upset. Now, I just want want to let you know that we have some giveaways. So after the speeches, we don't want you to leave. We have musical entertainment and we have some giveaways. But the reason I'm not doing it now is because I want to give our candidates an opportunity to speak, and then we'll do all of that, okay? So we have some giveaways. Please don't rush home after the speeches. We have a lot in store for you. Ladies and gentlemen, let us continue. So far, you have heard from the doc with the right prescription, Dr. Patricia Bartlett. And she has told you, and she has presented herself to you as the candidate for Nevis 9. Are you comfortable with your candidate? A few moments ago, you heard from Rohan Isles. Are you comfortable with your candidate for Nevis 10? Well, let me tell you about this. Are in position. The NRP athletes are in position, ladies and gentlemen. And the last time I checked, the only one of us who was an athlete was Dr. Bartlett. So I am going to use some of the names that you are familiar with. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, in station 1, getting ready to begin. Okay, they're lining up. We have young Akadianto Willett, and he's off. Oh, young Akadianto Willett is off, and he's running. Look at him go. Young Akadianto Willett in first place. Oh my goodness. He has passed the band to Alexander Keynes. Young Alexander Keynes, and he's off. Oh my goodness. Do you see him? It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Alexander Keynes. What is this? Let's see who's up next. Oh my goodness, it's Bryce Fifield. Bryce Fifield takes the baton on the third leg, and he's pushing all the way through. Nobody can touch him. Nobody can stop him, ladies and gentlemen. And oh my goodness, we are coming down to the home stretch, and it's Kamali Kejen Newton, ladies and gentlemen. Look at him go. What a rush to the finish. That is what we'll be delivering on election day. So, as we get that rush to the finish, get to your feet and help us to welcome our party leader. But before she comes on stage, we are going to invite Simone Mills to formally introduce her. Let us welcome Simone Mills in NRP fashion. Come on, let's welcome her.
Good evening, my NRP people. Most of you might know, but my name is Simone Mills. I'm from Jessup's Village, and I am pleased to present to you Dr. Janice Daniel-Hodge, our next representative for Nevis 11. So to begin, Dr. Daniel-Hodge is a staunch advocate for sustainable development in small island developing states. Her father was the late Right Excellent Dr. Simeon Daniel, and her mother is Rosita Daniel. She has 2 adult sons and 1 granddaughter. She attended the Ira Walters Primary School, formerly known as the Prospect Primary, and then she attended Charlestown Secondary School. She holds a bachelor and a master's in biology, as well as a PhD in creative leadership and innovation for change. She's an ocean lover, a music lover, and a smooth enthusiast. Regionally, in her professional life, Dr. Daniel-Hodge lectured at Alabama and A&M University and at the University of the Virgin Islands. She has served as the USVI Governor-appointed liaison to the United States Coral Reef Task Force and served on the Research and Public Service Advisory Council of the USVI. She also served on the USVI Water Resources Research Institute Advisory Board and as the chair of the United States Virgin Islands Marine Park Advisory Committee. She has received a USA Presidential Partnership Award for her exemplary work in establishing the first territorial marine park in the USVI. And for her PhD dissertation, she developed a creative model to help find solutions to complex environmental problems. Now, professionally in St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. Daniel-Hodge is the founder and managing director of the environmental consulting firm known as Cadenco, also known as Caribbean Development and Environmental Consultants, Inc. She has coordinated many projects, including one to establish the St. Christopher and Nevis Conservation Foundation and the first marine management area in St. Kitts and Nevis. She has developed a management model for the sustainable use of marine resources in St. Kitts and Nevis, and also served as a director and chairperson on the Bank of Nevis, as well as the director of the Bank of Nevis International Limited. Now, in her volunteer life, she has co-founded the Newcastle Bay Foundation, which helps to promote sustainable livelihoods and the sustainable use of marine resources. She has also facilitated community environment empowerment by securing grants for community projects and raising awareness about environmental issues while providing technical support to enhance sustainable livelihoods, especially for fishers. Now, politically, Dr. Daniel-Hodge is an innate lover for Nevis. I think we all know that. And she has a keen interest in the welfare for the people of Nevis. She is deeply concerned about the eroding democratic principles and declining morals that are creeping into the social fabric of this very island. She firmly believes that with a clear vision and a sense of purpose, Nevis can be put back on path of sustainable growth to provide hope and prosperity for our present and future generations. Lastly, Dr. Daniel-Hodge was elected political leader of this very party, the Nevis Reformation Party, in 2020. And she has a clear vision to develop a robust blue-green economy in Nevis to benefit present and future generations. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you our esteemed party leader and our next representative for Nevis 11, Dr. Janice Daniel-Hodge.
Nevis first. Nevis first.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is our party leader, you know. This is our party leader. Energy, energy. Yes, bring her on in grand style, ladies and gentlemen. Watch this step, watch this step. Come on, energy. Let me hear some noise for Dr. Janice Daniel-Hodge.
She's a
And they say NRP not ready. They say NRP not ready. Listen. Everybody who is sitting now, I want you to come close. Come close. Tonight, everybody's going to understand that NRP is in the house. NRP is in the house. NRP. Listen, to God be the glory. He did it before, and he can do it again. I would like at this time to say thank you to our NRP family. No family like the NRP family. Over the last 2 years, I have experienced such a love and so much support that at times when I feel like this is more than me, I would reach out to my NRP family and they would encourage me and they would motivate me. And you say, Janice, you can do this. You can do this. And so, I want to thank all of my comrades. I want to thank my comrades in St. Paul's constituency. Let me hear you. In St. John's constituency. St. John's constituency. I'm going to go around to St. George's. Let me hear St. George's. I don't want to be deaf, right? St. James's. St. James's. And guess what? St. Thomas's. St. Thomas's. NRP family. Nevis people. All of you who are here tonight. St. Kitts people. I've seen some people here from St. Kitts. I've seen some friends here from Anguilla. But let me just take this moment to all who are here listening, here in person, and across the social media. I just want to say good evening and thank you for being a part of tonight. Thank you for being a part of tonight. Now, we know that these are not ordinary times. These are not ordinary times. And no one knows what the future holds. But I am convinced, because knowing me, I can't dance like Dr. Bartlett. I don't have the big teddy bear thundering voice like Rohan. But I do believe that there's a reason why I am here tonight. There's a reason why I'm here tonight. And there's a reason why I feel I am compelled that I am here at this time for a particular reason. And so, I'm not sure where the music is, but what I would say is, once we understand that there is a divine reason and you can accept. I don't know if you listened to Dr. Bartlett, how she started out. You listen to Rohan, how he started out. And you would know, you would not find your NRP people at the gates of hell. You would not find your NRP people at the gates of hell. And so we understand that there is a reason why we are here, where we are at this point in time. Anyway, so just to give a little bit of background with regards to NRP, which was founded in 1970. And that was after decades of people suffering and people struggle struggling because of the disconnect between St. Kitts and Nevis. Now, the founding members of NRP had a vision for an independent Nevis. And I can remember hearing secession at all costs. And many of you, I am sure, would have remembered those words, secession at all costs. Our early party stalwarts, like the Ivor Stevens and the Levi Morton, Eustace Nisbet, Arthur Evelyn, Horace Liebert, Round Liebert, Fred Paris, Sonny Paris, Phineas Griffin, and of course my father, the Right Excellent Dr. Simeon Daniel. These persons would have worked tirelessly. And I must say, I cannot forget Mr. Euro Swanston, who is the only living member from that original group. And so I just want to say to those who have gone before us and who have laid the foundation, I am happy that they did that so that we can continue on today based on the foundation that they laid. Now, I would say, and I think you would agree with me, that Nevis would have seen its best days when an NRP premier, whether it was Simeon Daniel or Joseph Parry, NRP would have seen its best days when an NRP premier was at the helm. Both of those premiers, both of those NRP premiers were members of the federal government. And regardless of the trials, they accomplished what they set out to do. And they accomplished what they set out to do without mashing up a federal government. And that speaks to what the NRP leaders stood for in terms of accomplishing their goals. Now, with NRP at the helm, Nevis prospered at the federal level as well as the local level. And there's a simple reason for that. There's a simple reason for that, and that is because Nevis has always been the first priority for NRP. Always the first priority for NRP. They never lost their focus. Never did they lose their focus. Understanding that Nevis is the first priority for NRP.
Nevis first. Nevis
first. Must be Nevis first. And once you understand that Nevis is your first priority, we will do wonders for the people of Nevis. And I know that NRP is best for Nevis because it was on the NRP that the NIA was established, giving us the opportunity to make our own laws. It was on the NRP that the Four Seasons, Orly Beach Resort, Mount Nevis Hotel, and other inns of Nevis were developed. It was on the NRP that the Nevis Sixth Form College, and the financial services sector, and the Bank of Nevis, all of these were established on the NRP. It was on the NRP that teachers could receive college degrees. And it was on the NRP that tradesmen could travel to Trinidad and Barbados to get their certifications. It was on the NRP that Nevisians could purchase land at $6,000 per half acre. It was on the NRP that EPAC was developed. It was on the NRP that the community centers across Nevis were developed. It was on the NRP that Nevis prospered and the people of Nevis enjoyed a high standard of living. Living in Nevis was so nice on the NRP that our King Miko had to sing the song. What did he say? Okay. Nevis nice. Nevis nice because NRP understands that you can only make life better for the people when you perform in government.
We voting for NRP, the performance party. The other party a comedy like them want for a coming movie. We vote NRP, the performance party. The other party a comedy like them want for a coming movie.
You see, some people people say people matter more, but they don't realize that you have to work in order to make life better for the people. Now, the people of Nevis, you can't blame them. I can't say us, because I never voted for CCM, right? But the people of Nevis, they took a chance. They took a chance and they voted for CCM. And how many of them you're hearing now saying that is the biggest mistake that they have ever made? Empty promises. Empty promises after empty promises. Mismanagement of resources. No transparency in government. No accountability. Lack of compassion. That is a critical one. Lack of compassion. Because when you cannot be compassionate about people, then you cannot tend to their needs. So no compassion, no serious foreign direct investment. You see closure of businesses and high unemployment rates. We see now where Nevis is fully dependent on the federal government to pay civil servants. Did you ever see that on the NRP? Not on the NRP. So I think you would agree with me when I say CCM would be recorded in history as the most disruptive, least productive, and most self-aggrandizing government. And now, due to the negligence in the federal government, as they themselves would have said, they have lost their way. They have lost their way, and because of that, Nevis is now set back several decades. Now, when you look at the relationship between the CCM-led NIA and the federal government, we must recognize that this is the worst relationship that we have seen between the NIA and the federal government. And so I would say to you tonight, the future of Nevis depends squarely on the decisions that you take and how you vote on election day. It depends entirely on you. You would have heard Dr. Patricia Bartlett representing Nevis 9. You would have heard Mr. Rohan Isles representing Nevis 10. And you're now hearing from me representing Nevis 11. And I will tell you that we are here today because we know that we can provide the type of representation that the people of Nevis need, both in Nevis and in Bastille. Now, I would say, those of us who have a conscience, and those of us who truly care about the people of Nevis, and when I say the people of Nevis, I'm referring to the people who call Nevis home. And so whether you're born a Vision or a Kitishan, whether you're from Guyana or Haiti, whether you're from Guyana, excuse me, or Haiti, or Santo Domingo, or Dominica, Trinidad, Jamaica, St. Lucia, whether from the USVI or BVI, Grenada, St. Vincent, wherever from the OECS and CARICOM, whether India, USA, UK, wherever across the world people come from to make Nevis their home, NRP understands that we have a responsibility to make Nevis nice again. Nice again. Not just for a few. Not just for a few, but for all. But for all. And so I will say to you tonight, NRP understands, it is in our nature, it is in our genes, that it requires hard work and commitment and sacrifices to create employment opportunities. Employment opportunities, especially for our youth, to make Nevis prosperous again. Today, NRP is still the only party that puts Nevis first. And you must know that that is inherent in NRP, because what is the name of our party? Nevis, the Nevis Reformation Party. And so, we would always say, for the Nevis Reformation Party, Nevis is our first priority.
Nevis is our first priority. Nevis is our first priority. Nevis is our first priority. Nevis is our first priority.
Nevis has always been the first priority for NRP. Now imagine where Nevis could have been today. Imagine the standard of living in Nevis if our people did not take a chance with CCM. Imagine if they did not take a chance with CCM. They could only deliver empty promises and no true development. In fact, all of the plans and ideas that NRP developed prior to leaving office have been bungled by CCM. Geothermal, fisheries complex, fuel storage facility, Charlestown cruise terminal, duty-free shopping, our dialysis equipment, the cosmetic hospital at New River, Amman Hotel, and these are just a few. But don't be surprised that they have bungled these ideas that NRP would have brought to the table, because guess what? They were the ones who drafted the Charlestown Accord, and they bungled that as well. So, just imagine that if Nevis were to benefit from the Charlestown Accord, we would have received our full share of non-taxable revenues, not just from the CBI, but also from other non-taxable revenues. Imagine what this government could have done when offered the opportunity to establish a symbolic representation of the relationship between the Republic of China, Taiwan, and the NIA. Do you think the park, as much as we love it, but if you had that opportunity, don't you think you'd prefer to see some health services here in Nevis? Don't you think you'd have preferred to see you'd have preferred to see an MRI equipment at the hospital? Even a building with the same Taiwanese representation, but would benefit the people of Nevis that they would not have to go to St. Kitts for MRI or for dialysis treatment. And these are the things that you would see when the people of Nevis is not the first priority for a government, right? Now, 7 years in the federal government, 7 years in the federal government, with all 3 seats from Nevis, and CCM to this day cannot tell you their legislative agenda. What did they do to ensure that Nevis can receive its full share without having to beg? Because today they're still begging. And they had 7 years with the Charlestown Accord and they did nothing with it. What did they do? 7 years and 3 representatives from Nevis. What did they do to address social issues, electoral reform, constitutional reform, and other constitutional mandates affecting Nevis? If we look, for example, at the 10% increase, can you not sit in the assembly or at cabinet and argue that if there is a federal policy that has financial requirements, then shouldn't it be the responsibility of the federal government? But how can you mash up the government, come out of the government, and expect now to go back and negotiate with the government? As they would have said, they don't understand governance. They don't understand how to get things done. They don't understand. And so, the people of Nevis would have suffered severely during the pandemic because we remember that we couldn't receive our severance payments. And if you have 3 representatives from Nevis going down to St. Kitts, could you have at least said that you tabled a resolution to address the severance fund? What was done? And so 7 years, 3 representatives, and nothing was done with regards to severance payments. In fact, what they said, every time they have a press conference, our hands are tied. It's a federal matter. But you're part of the federal government. You're part of the federal government, and you begged for 3 strong. The people of Nevis gave you 3 strong to go down. You then complained and said you had 4 from PAM. And so, how tight can your hands be? Obviously, the hands were tight then, but the hands not tight now because an election is coming and they're starting to feel the pressure. So now they're going to jump up and scream and want people to come and help them, understanding that they sat there for 7 years in their government and did absolutely nothing. So the question that must be asked is, what really did CCM do, being in government in Nevis, being in the federal government, what did they do to help the people of Nevis? That is the question. Because if you have representation in the federal government, you must be able to see how they are helping you. And so when we look at, for example, the school meals program in St. Kitts and Nevis, parents in Nevis have to pay. And what happens in St. Kitts? No payment, right? What has been done about the fishers who can leave Nevis, go to St. Kitts to buy supplies, and it's still cheaper than what you can get it here for? And it's even cheaper to go to St. Kitts to buy gas for them to operate their boats. And you want to tell me we have the federal minister of fisheries in St. Kitts and in Nevis, and nothing can be done to help the people in Nevis? No, that doesn't make any sense. Now, when you look at electricity, exactly, Auntie Patsy, exactly. When you look at your bill, your surcharge is more than what you use, right? And when you look at the Charlestown Accord, there was a provision to provide assistance for renewable energy. But they weren't looking at the Charlestown Accord. They didn't care about that because they know they can keep it in their back pocket and then they're going to come out just before election and say, oh, we're fighting for Nevis, we're fighting for Nevis. Really? Anyway, now, the $400 million that was spent to help, that was provided to Nevis, how was that used to help the struggling people? Day in and day out, you cannot see where the $400 million was spent to help people. You go to the supermarkets, do you see any reduction in the price of food? No reduction in the price of food. And so, have you seen any assistance to help to keep the monkeys and the donkeys out of your gardens? No, nothing is being done. And so we must say that the resistance to give an account for the $400 million is a serious concern to the people of Nevis. But I say to you tonight, hold fast. Hold fast and look to NRP, because we care for our people and we can empathize with your struggles. When we look at our students who have to work twice as hard as their counterparts in St. Kitts going to CFPC, we must know that we are struggling more than our counterparts. And when we look at the single mother who struggles to pay the babysitter, who sometimes make more than the single mother is making when she goes to work, how can that be fair? When we look at the youth on the peace program who were never given the opportunity to learn a trade. That is the result of a lazy government. And so while you're providing the peace funding, at least provide an opportunity for the youth to learn a trade. These are the things that we must do. But I'm going to tell you, NRP understands. NRP understands the struggles of our people. Most of you see me in a lot of different places. In a lot of different places. And I go and I can listen and I can understand what the struggles are. When I come to Brownhill, you're not there, Judy. But what I'm going to say, you have heard us saying, and on the back of your shirts it says, change must come. 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 It's a long time. Play it again, Mr. DJ, please. It's been a long time. This is your NRP ticket that is going to bring the change to Nevis. Because you know what? As the master of ceremony said, we were preparing for a local election. Who expected that the 3 CCM representatives were going to go to St. Kitts, depending on the federal government to pay civil servants, they're going to go down there and mash it up, and then want to negotiate when they're no longer in Parliament. How does that work? How does that work? Mr. DJ, please to play Change Gonna Come Again for me. It's been a long time coming, but I know change gonna come. Change gonna come. Now, I'm getting close to ending because I know you want to hear the DJ play some good music, right? But I'm just going to give you a little idea of what an NRP-led representation in the federal government would look like. Now we talk about equitable share of revenues, and all we hear them talking about is the CBI. But I don't know, you heard me speaking about the blue economy, right? I speak about it a lot, blue and green. But there's something called the Department of Maritime Affairs, and they deal with something called ship registration all over the world. And you can go and you can see the St. Kitts Nevis flag on certain ships. And there is a significant amount of revenues that is being paid, but you're not hearing anybody talk about that. Because you know what? It is not, you have to do a little work to find out these things, and they're not ready to do that. Now, when you look at marine resources, which we have a big problem with because marine resources, under the Constitution, Nevis has the authority to look after its own fisheries. We have now seen a new piece of legislation pass, not new, it was back in 2016, that now put fisheries under the Department of Marine Resources in St. Kitts. And so where was our Minister of Marine Resources to look at this to make sure that Nevis was getting its fair share? So there are a number of things that would need to be looked at with regards to equitable share. Now, one of the things that we also have to look at is with regards to a number of federal programs. And not just federal programs, but federal services. And I'm trying to relate to you what representation in the federal government should look like. Because we hear about the PAP and the STEP program. These are federal programs. But do you see an office in Nevis that deals with these programs? Back in the day, we used to have a federal office. Is it functional? When you look at all of the different programs that are being administered in St. Kitts, I mean, imagine if you need to get certain stamps and certain certificates, birth certificates, etc. You have to catch a boat and go to St. Kitts. That should not be the case. And so your representation, your NRP representatives will ensure that you have a federal building. Sometimes you want to send a letter to, for example, the Attorney General.
And what do you have to do? You'd have to send it on a boat? No, you need to have a federal office so that you can be in Nevis and address your federal matters just the same as the people in St. Kitts. And so we need to have a federal office that is not intermingled and intertwined with the NIA. Because we know under the Constitution, NIA has certain responsibilities and the federal government has certain responsibilities. And I think this is one of the reasons why we find our NIA having the problems, because they do not understand the powers of the NIA and the need to separate the two services. Now, we talk about, I can recall based on some research that I was doing, when our Patrice Nisbet was in the federal government, we had an increase in the minimum wage. People are struggling. We have 3 strong representatives. Did you hear one word about minimum wage? And so I just mentioned, you have a parent who has to leave the child in daycare, and based on what they make, is just enough to pay the daycare. Now, these are things that federal representation is supposed to look at. Now, again with Patrice Nisbet, when he was in there, we had the one-to-one laptop program. Now, with all of the funds that we're getting from CBI, the $400 million, is there any reason why parents have to be struggling to find a laptop or a tablet for their parents? Is there any reason? And as my colleagues would have said earlier, you need health care? Roadworks. Anything that is needed? Roadworks, roadworks, roadworks. And so we need to ensure that we have the one-to-one laptop program, because this is the future for our children. The Wi-Fi free zones, we need to bring back some of those. Now, we know that in our country, you have more cricketers coming out of Nevis than you have from St. Kitts and on the international stage. But can we get a CPL game over here in Nevis? So we are in the federal government. Where is the opportunity to sit down and negotiate and say, listen, we want to have a CPL game over here. And if we need to develop the facilities to be able to accommodate them, then develop the facilities. So, not even a practice match. And so, when we look at the use of CBI funds, we must be able to identify some tangible ways in which those funds are going to be used to benefit overall the people of Nevis. Now I'll just go through quickly. One of the things that we want to be able to do is to develop a medical emergency fund. Because we know sometimes we fall ill and we need to travel overseas. Now if you have this money coming from the CBI, rather than roads, set aside some of that money so that if people need to travel, that money is available. And so these are some of the things that NRP would ensure that we have in place so that everybody can feel the impact of having $400 million come through Nevis. Now, another issue that we need to look at, how many of you wish you could have your own home? But by the time you buy a piece of land and then you have to save up again, take some of that CBI money and put it in a mortgage program so that once you've had your piece of land and you're ready to build, you can have some CBI money that goes towards your mortgage, the 10% down payment that you would need to make. And so these are the kind of things that an NRP government or NRP representatives in the federal government would try to put in place to ensure that all of the people can benefit from the as we say, our patrimony. Now, in closing, I would say that while others may go to hell to make their deals, I will continue to look to our God up above to help us to come to the promised land. Now, this upcoming election will be like none before. And I know the people in Nevis have a tendency to say it's a federal election is not important. But I'm going to beg you tonight. This federal election is like none before. And if we want to make a change in Nevis, we have to start with this federal election. Everybody needs to come out and vote. It's not going to be a second chance. It's not going to be a second chance. The upcoming federal election is key, because you know what happens if these people who do not understand governance gets back into the federal government. Before you know it, they might mash it up again and there's another federal election, even before we get a local election. And so I would say to you, in Nevis we have 3 seats in the federal election. And most of you know that I am in Nevis 11. And so I just want to hear, when I go home tonight, I want to hear this to motivate me, because you know it's not easy, right? So I just want to hear my people in St. Thomas's. Let me hear you. Let me hear you tell me, yes. Let me hear St. Thomas's. And let me hear St. James's. Let me hear St. James's. Because I know that we can do this. And so now I want to hear Nevis 11, St. Thomas's and St. James's together. Let me hear you. Yes. So, we will look to the good Lord up above, and we will come out in our numbers on election day, and we will ensure that in number 9, St. Paul's and St. John's, yes, you're going to represent Dr. Bartlett. In number 10, Rohan Isles. Rohan Isles. You will bring him home. And you know what? You know what? I just have a feeling. Something good is going to happen. Because in number 11, we know what we have to do. In number 11, this is our time. And with God in our midst, and with hard work and dedication, we know NRP is best for Nevis. And we know this is the time. This is the time. This is the time. Don't wait until next time. This is the time. Let's do it, everybody. Mr. DJ.
Nevis first. Nevis first.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you.
She's a good leader. Protect your pride and lose character. Nevis our first priority. Generation.
Can I get a bigger round of applause for our party leader? Ladies and gentlemen, I have one thing to say. Substance over hype. Substance over hype. And Dr. Daniel-Hodge did something that I neglected to do earlier, and that is to recognize all of the founders of the NRP. We thank them so much for their work. And she mentioned that Ural Swanston is among the founders. And we recognize him because he is one of the 2 that's still living. So a round of applause for Ural Swanston. Let us also not forget Rohan Isles. Let us not forget Rohan Isles, another one of our founders who is still living. So a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, Remember I told you don't run off after these speeches. And Brother Gilbert Phillip, another one of our founders, we appreciate all of their hard work. We know that some of them have gone to the great beyond, but we have to remember those who laid the foundation for the rest of us. We have some giveaways. I have 5 tickets to Tropics. Tropics is tomorrow. I have 5 tickets. By the way, the 360 booth is here, so be sure to take advantage of the 360 booth. Okay, very easy questions. Do not go. The entertainment is setting up. Do not go, please. All right, first question. On what date was Dr. Patricia Bartlett launched in Brown Hill for the local election? On what date? Anybody, on what date? May 8 when? Of what year? May 8, 2021. That ticket goes to Julie. Easy questions. Come, we have some more. Name the school that Rohan dedicated most of his teaching career to. She was first. All right, St. Thomas says. She was first. All right. We're going to Tropics, eh? Tickets to Tropics. Tropics is tomorrow. And they said Tropics is the young people thing. So everybody going out in the dandan. Are you going to? I mean, I'll come last. All right. Whatever it is. In what year, we're running out of questions, in what year was the Honorable Cleon Stapleton Simmons elected? What year? 2020. Remember we had a by-election in 2020, so that is the year in which she was elected, okay? We have 2 more tickets to Tropics, okay? Julie, you don't get one. You have one, you're going to Tropics. Okay, let me see who was paying attention. Let's see who was paying attention. Okay. What's the name of the artist who sang a song for our party leader, specifically for our party leader? Colin Wyatt. Yeah. One more. Colin Wyatt, yes. One more. Let's see. I touched on all the candidates, right? Okay. One more ticket. Okay, easy one. What? I met me government road people out there cussing me. You got to come forward for your ticket. Okay, last question. What is the name? Easy question. We try to touch all the candidates. What is the name of the venue? What is the name of the venue that the NRP St. Paul's constituency group holds its breakfast, monthly breakfast? Brian, your pastor gonna allow you to go to Tropics? All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being good sports. Listen, we're not done yet because we have Ike the Real right here. And we also have to invite Mr. Daniel draw close because we want to hear from you soon. We also have to invite our party leader to give just the closing words, and then I'll wrap it up and we go into our entertainment. We just want to invite Mr. Daniel. Are you around? Yes, come forward, Mr. Daniel. Mr. Daniel will give his words, and then I'll come back to wrap it up. I don't want you to go. I have something to say. A round of applause for Mr. Daniel. Listen, Mr. Are you fall asleep on me? This man has done a lot for the island of Nevis. When you talk about social transformation, it was Hensley Daniel, So put some respect on his name.
and sisters of the Nevis Reformation Party, we have had a great evening launching our candidates, and my task is to thank all of you for coming to join, to be part of the NRP Dream Team. My role is to thank all of the persons, the musicians, the organizers, the committee, of which JD was a lead member, and all of them for putting on a remarkable show this evening. Brothers and sisters, as I listen to the presentation, hear what I say. In number 9, Patricia hired. In number 10, Rohan hired. In number 11, Janice hired. And I say to you, while the fellow says they have lost their way to government, Janice is on her way to government. Patricia is on her way to government. Rohan is on her way to government. And so, brothers and sisters, we are going to carry them until the bell is rung, until on the morning of the election, we are going to vote for them. Brothers and sisters, while the other side is talking about hell, 9, 10, and 11 going to heaven. 9, 10, and 11 on their way to heaven. So that's what we're working on. And so, brothers and sisters, we want to thank you very much for your enthusiasm, for your massive support, and we have had a sea of green this evening. And we say, brothers and sisters, let us continue to carry our 3 new candidates to the Federal House. Brothers and sisters, thank you again on behalf of the party, on behalf of the executive, and all the other branches of the party. Thank you for your support, and have a blessed evening. Thank you. Remember, I told you at the start of the show that we all will continue to do this work of campaigning. So whether it is at the local level or the federal level, we need your prayers. So keep praying for the Honorable Cleone Stapleton Simmons. Lift her up and lift up her family in your prayers so that no weapon that is formed against her shall prosper. They're doing a lot of things over there, but Cleone will return as the elected person at the local level. Bringing it back home federally, I am telling you to keep Dr. Patricia Bartlett in your prayers. She needs your prayers as she goes along on this journey. Keep Dr. Pat and her family in your prayers. Rohan and his family needs your prayers. This is a young man with a young family. They need your prayers. Do not stop praying for us, ladies and gentlemen. And Dr. Janice Daniel-Hodge, small in stature, but she has a lot of responsibility. It is not easy being her. It is not easy being her. Please, let us keep her in our prayers. So when they come with their attacks, when they come saying all kind of things about us, I want you not to get distracted. Stay focused. Some of you call me and you say, Lord JD, they said this about you. They said that about you. You good? Or one thing we got to tell them about me.
ladies and gentlemen. Keep praying for me. But don't worry, my back is broad and I can take it. And so, as we wind down, I am going to invite our 3 dynamic candidates on stage one last time so you can see them together and cheer them on. DJ, let us get a song. We ready, we ready, we ready. Ladies and gentlemen, to your feet, those under the tents, those in your cars, to your feet, and let us give our 3 candidates the kind of applause that they deserve. Dr. Patricia Bartlett, keep the applause coming. Dr. Patricia Bartlett, come forward, come forward. DJ, give me something, DJ. Yes, Rohan Isles, come forward, Rohan. Dr. Janice Daniel-Hodge, come forward. Come on. Guys, these are our candidates. These are our candidates. They will represent you at the federal level, and they will do a wonderful job. They are ready. They are ready. NRP. 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 NRP.
Look how the sun now raising up, and the crowd now waking up. The atmosphere has rise, and nothing can break it up. The girl never wind up stop. We are the drinks them in a light up. We gonna party all night, all night. 24 parties we hit in a row. Tonight at the very last show. Before we ever turn the road, the girl never really is the road. So let me see your hands up, so everybody know put your hands up, so if you're ready for the road, let your friend them know. We're ready for the road.
Yes, we ready. We ready. We ready. So we are now going to invite Ike the Real Light to give us some entertainment. And don't go, you know, we have food, we have drinks, we have the 360 booth, we have music, we have our candidates. Stay and mingle with the NRP. Have a grand time on us, because when we win the next election, we will celebrate in grand style again. NRP people! Take it away, Ike.
Watch out, man. Carlos Santana. Carlos Santana, Tonitano. You gonna let people sweat joy? Ah, what the heck? Boy, hear that. Hear that. Watch out, man. Man, take off the gate off of it. What you do? Take out the gate off of it. What you think, give me a drum? I know, right? Fingle the thing out, man. Watch out, man. How the song you go? Yeah, really, you got some old heads inside the building. I want to get a little something before I get to the young people there. Okay? Boy, turn up the table. go. Sailing. Turn it up. Yeah, we just warm it up, warm it up, warm it up, warm it up, warm it up. Name Brantley. I hope I didn't let me knock me the vocal culture warm now. The ship is sinking. Hey, Captain. We just warm it up. Carlos, turn up the sound. Shall we abandon? Or shall we stay on it? What's it? You tell me what to do. Whoa, whoa.
And in her day, she sailed majestically. There were few in her class. Faithfully, she fulfilled her sailor's needs. Some were overpowered by greed, and so they built but slow. Some took by bulk and grow. Now she looked dull, she's a dull. She could barely sit on her hull. Captain, the ship is sinking. Captain, the seas are rough. Oh yes, we are standing on this empty no electricity. The oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship, or shall we stay on it and perish slow? We don't know, we don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. Whoa, whoa, the Trinidad, in her day of sailing, she was a friend to one and all. She never once ever hesitated to answer all SOS calls. And yes, well, she always did.
Let me just try to get the real sound right there.
Now it's so sad to see.
See when Carlos got the iPod, that's how you go.
She held chair, my little chair, and sometimes she got me Captain,
ship is sinking. Captain,
the seas are rough. We can't stand up for sending no electricity. The oil pressure reading low. Shall we abandon ship, or shall we sit on it and perish slow? We don't know, we don't know. Captain, you tell me what to do. Whoa, whoa. There's one little more song.
you're living from some party. The young people don't worry, you don't get too high up. Your level here. Charlestown here. Me don't mind, just listen to the yeah, but just go over a little bit. Hold them, uncle, hold them. Let me tell you how. I want to walk your way. yeah. Your foot now go, watch how you walk out. Ready? I like the position that we are just now. Do it again. Your popcorn, your massacre.